In the world of royalty, love is rarely simple. Behind the gilded palace walls, duty, tradition, and public expectation often weigh heavier than the desires of the heart. One of the most famous royal love triangles in history is that of Prince Charles, Princess Diana, and Camilla Parker Bowles. But the question remains, why did Prince Charles marry Diana when it was always Camilla whom he truly loved? To understand the story, we must go back to the early 1970s. Prince Charles first met Camilla Shand in 1970 at a polo match. Their connection was instant. Both shared a love for horses, the countryside, and witty humor. Unlike other women Charles had dated, Camilla was confident, warm, and unafraid of the future king's status. However, royal circles quickly decided that Camilla was not suitable as a future queen. Why? She came from the right social background, but she had already been in previous relationships, and in the eyes of the royal establishment, she lacked the so-called innocence expected of a royal bride. For centuries, the British monarchy had relied on carefully chosen marriages to secure not only heirs but also public approval. By the late 1970s, Charles was over 30 and still unmarried, an unusual situation for an heir to the throne. The media began calling him the world's most eligible bachelor, but inside Buckingham Palace, Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip were deeply concerned. They knew Charles needed a bride who was young, aristocratic, and above all, untainted by scandal. Camilla, by then, had married Andrew Parker Bowles in 1973. Her marriage only deepened the royal family's conviction. She was no longer a candidate for Charles. In 1977, Charles briefly dated Diana's older sister, Sarah. But it was Diana, just 16 at the time, who caught his attention with her shyness, innocence, and fairy tale charm. By 1980, Diana was 19 and living in London. She fit the royal family's criteria perfectly: young, aristocratic, and with an image of purity that appealed to both tradition and the public. The press adored her. The public adored her. To the establishment, she seemed like the perfect match for the future King of England. But Charles faced an impossible choice: follow his heart with Camilla or fulfill his duty with Diana. Behind closed doors, Charles remained emotionally tied to Camilla. They spoke frequently, and their bond was unshakable. Yet the crown demanded something else. Queen Elizabeth's advisors, courtiers, and even Prince Philip pressured Charles to propose to Diana. The message was clear: Charles must marry a woman who could be shaped into a queen, and Camilla did not fit the bill. In February 1981, Charles proposed to Diana after only a handful of private meetings. Diana, just 19 years old, accepted, believing in the fairy tale. But when a reporter famously asked Charles and Diana if they were in love, Diana replied confidently, "Of course." Charles, however, gave a haunting answer: "Whatever love means." This response revealed everything. Charles was marrying not for love, but for duty. As the wedding of the century unfolded in July 1981, millions watched Diana walk down the aisle in her iconic gown. The world saw a fairy tale, but Diana herself sensed the cracks. Just before the wedding, Diana discovered a bracelet Charles had made for Camilla, engraved with their initials. It was a devastating sign that Camilla still held his heart. Diana later admitted she felt like a lamb to the slaughter. The early years of Charles and Diana's marriage were filled with public smiles but private struggles. Diana fulfilled her role brilliantly, capturing global attention and becoming the people's princess, yet Charles increasingly resented the spotlight she commanded. Meanwhile, Camilla never truly left the picture. Charles turned to her for comfort and companionship, reigniting their affair by the mid-1980s. Diana once confronted Camilla at a party, telling her, "I know what's going on between you and Charles. Don't treat me like a fool." But despite Diana's pleas, Charles could not give up Camilla. To him, she was not only a lover, but his soulmate. So why did Charles marry Diana if his love was always Camilla? The answer lies in 3 words: duty, image, and expectation. 1. Royal duty. Charles was under immense pressure from the monarchy to secure a bride who could provide heirs and embody the purity expected of a future queen. 2. Public image. The press painted Diana as a fairy tale princess. To reject her would have been a national scandal. 3. Camilla's status. By the time marriage was on the table, Camilla was already married and deemed unsuitable in the eyes of the establishment. The consequences were devastating. Diana, young and unprepared, struggled with loneliness, bulimia, and the constant shadow of Camilla. Charles, trapped in a marriage he never wanted, grew increasingly distant. Their story unraveled publicly. Affairs, scandals, and shocking interviews, including Diana's famous words, "There were three of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded." In 1996, Charles and Diana divorced. Just 1 year later, Diana tragically died in a car crash, leaving the world in mourning. After Diana's death, public opinion towards Charles and Camilla was harsh, but over time, their relationship endured. In 2005, Charles finally married Camilla, more than 3 decades after their first meeting. Ironically, the woman once deemed unsuitable now holds the title of Queen Consort. Their journey proves that love, though delayed, ultimately prevailed, though at a great cost. In the end, Prince Charles's marriage to Diana was not born of love, but of obligation. It gave the world the beloved Diana, Princess of Wales, but also one of the most painful royal scandals in modern history. It raises a timeless question. Should one follow the heart or obey duty? In Charles's case, his choice shaped not only his life, but the future of the monarchy itself. If you found this story fascinating, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more royal history and secrets behind the crown.